Hello, I am Pat Gillum-Sams, the founder and CEO of the Sister Covenant. What is the Sister Covenant? It is a platform for purposed and powerful women to empower and inspire other powerful women of color. Black women are resilient. We nurture the world, our families, our spouses, our children, our communities, the boardroom, and everything in between. But who fills our cup? I often am reminded of when we fly, we're told to put our oxygen mask on first. And that is what the Sister Covenant is all about. It's a safe space for authentic dialogue between sisters, my friends, your friends, all of our friends, coming together for a time such as this. Join me Sunday mornings, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, first, third, and fifth Sundays for the Sister Covenant, a safe space to laugh a lot, cry a little, and fill your cup. Hello, welcome. Great Sunday morning, and welcome to December, Christmas month, the month of the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And welcome to the Sister Covenant. We are so excited to be in this season of lights, of gifts, of excitement, but most important, this season of giving, receiving, and of acknowledgement of our Lord and Savior. Before we get to this very intimate conversation that I have with just a dear soul, a dear sister, Sonia Jackson Miles, random acts of kindness, we want to say thank you. Thank you for being with us through our second anniversary of the Sister Covenant and on this journey to empower women. You can still be a part of our sister circle by just joining us and joining the circle through Facebook on your phone or your computer. Search the Sister Covenant, find the groups tab, click on the group titled The Sister Circle, click join group, and your request will be accepted. We also are just so honored and humbled to have all of the support that you all have given us over the last 2 years, especially our sustaining sisters and our sisters keepers. You too can be a part of sowing a seed into the Sister Covenant. It's easy. Just contact us at keepers@thesistercovenant.com. Be a part again of the movement and take the opportunity to help us empower women all around the world. I am just so honored to have all of my sisters, those sisters you saw in that opening video, my ride or die sisters for 20, 30, 40 plus years. I love them madly. You see them right there on the screen, the sister, sustaining sisters, as well as the sisters keepers. Brenda Jackson, New York Times bestselling author, Melissa Fulmore Hardwick, founder of Brown Girls in the Boardroom, and our featured sister today, Sonia Jackson Miles from the Sister Accord, and of course, Dr. Lorraine Polite Clark, today's dentistry and Sutil Dental. I thank them. I love them. And of course, dear to my heart, the Legacy Group, which is encompassing the Legacy League. So let's get right to it. We are in the month of December. And for some people, that's exciting. It's exhilarating. It's electric. We just saw the lighting of the Christmas tree in Times Square in New York. But for some, it's overwhelming. It's too much. It is stressful. So today, I welcome a dear friend of mine, no stranger to the Sister Covenant, Sonia Jackson Miles, the founder and CEO of the Sister Accord. Sonia, come join me, my sister, in the Sister Covenant platform. How are you?
Hi, sister. Oh, it's such an honor to be here with you. You know how much I love you. And
Oh
thank
my
you for
goodness.
this invite.
Sonia, I love you and I thank you so much. And you are rocking that red, girlfriend.
Well, this is in honor of you. I inundate you with pink all the time. So I intentionally put this on for you.
Well, you look beautiful in both red and pink. I like to call it fuchsia. It's just
I know,
it's a little, it's a little more depthful, but
I
it's all good. We are sisters of the heart.
Yes, we are.
And as we were talking just the other day, Sonia, and as I just said in the opening, we are in December. And
Yeah.
that is such a special month. Last week was Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And we had the privilege, my family and I have now two adult sons, and you have adult children. And we spent some great family time down in Orlando, and it was magical because Orlando is magical. Um, and you can really get caught up with everything that December has, from all the parties and the social
Right.
gatherings
Right.
to shopping to spending a whole lot of money that maybe
That's right.
you have or maybe you don't have. Everything can, if you allow it to be overwhelming, it can be
Yes.
overwhelming. But when you and I chatted the other day, we talked about just the simple things,
That's right.
just what the true meaning is of Christmas, but just 365 days a year, how we
That's
can really be better. And I thought about you and what you stand for with the
oh,
Sister
yeah.
Accord, and just
Mm,
random acts of kindness. So talk with us a little bit about what you're doing in
mm.
that space around random acts of kindness, and
Yeah.
just bring us up to date with what the Sister Accord is doing all around the world.
Oh, I tell you, when I think about the start of the Sister Accord, when I had my dream, and so often, our dreams sometimes will scare us. And I remember saying, what is this? What just happened in my dream? And it was really centered around something that bothered me. And so I tell my mentees and people I coach all the time, the things that you really think and care about, and you go to sleep thinking about them, you wake up thinking about them. Lots of times it's tied to your purpose. It's tied to your calling. And so I know that I was created to help girls and women around the world. I know that. I was just afraid of it for so long. And so now that I am walking in purpose, and the Sister Accords, our mission is to have 1 billion girls and women learn how to love themselves and each other. Well, what what will our world be like when that happens? When we're not tearing each other down, when we recognize that there's more than enough for all of us to win. What will happen for the future generations, where our children's children's children will inherit this world that will be much more peaceful, much more kind, much more loving? And so with the Sister Accord, we focus on educating girls and women. We give scholarships, enlightening girls and women of the power of sisterhood. That's through our events and experiences, and then eradicating bullying and violence against girls and women. And so, we are so excited to be expanding, elevating, right? And we know that this all comes from God. I'm just doing the work. I'm just the messenger. And when I think about now having 2 chapters of the Sister Accord in Zimbabwe. Did you hear me? Zimbabwe. People taking the message of the Sister Accord to villages and to people in their families around the world. We are getting ready to launch in Malawi next. So this month, we will be teaching women and girls leadership skills, business skills, so that they can be self-sufficient. Do you understand the power of that? And again, we do this here in America as well. The reason why Africa is so important and Asia is so important is because if I am going to get to 1 billion, those countries, those continents have to be a part of our mission. And for it to happen before 10 years, because I started this organization, the Sister Accord Foundation, I started it after I left Procter and Gamble. And so for us to be coming up on 10 years and to have expanded in having the chapters in Africa is very special. We also have a chapter on college campus. So we have the Sister Accord at Ohio State, the Ohio State University. And so our model is to continue to have chapters on college campuses to really talk about what does true leadership look like. The Sister Accord is a lifestyle. And so when we have our Sister Accord Day celebrations, and we just had our 9th annual celebration on August 31st of this year, which is Sister Accord Day, the city of Cincinnati gave us a holiday back when we had our very first Tea Party in 2013. And we asked people, we wanted to be able to have tangible representations of what a Sister Accord lifestyle really is. And so, I said, it's random acts of kindness. How do we inspire people to just be kind? And how do we help them recognize that it's the little things that can make a difference? It's the smile. I when I'm wearing my mask and I smile, people smile back. How do they know? Right? How do they know that I'm smiling?
It's the eyes. It's the eyes.
It's the eyes, sister. And so just smiling at someone, people have stopped me and said, you had no idea that I needed that smile. I was struggling. You had no idea that I needed exactly what you gave me. And so I have learned, because our rational brain wants to always have everything just so, and it has to make sense and it has to look like this. But I have learned to just be. And when I do that, 9 times out of 10, when I listen to that still voice inside, and we all know that that's our GPS, I am guided to do what I was created to do. And so those random acts of kindness, paying for, especially when gas was going through the roof, paying for people's gas, the person behind me. And I remember when I said to the young lady, I'm going to fill up your tank. And she looked at me and then she looked again. Are you serious? But guess what she did? She then paid it forward and paid for the person behind her. So here we have, we're at Sam's Club and we're just everybody's paying for gas. One action, the ripple effect from one action, one act of kindness can literally change people's lives. Because what people have said to me is, it gave me hope again. It gave me hope that things aren't as bad. They might be bad, but they could be worse. And so that inspiration, just that little bit of light, and that's what I ask people to be, just be light for people. And when we do that, it really can change the outcomes and what people are dealing with.
Sonia, you've said so much in what you just shared with us. So we are in a place, and we've been talking about this now for the 2 years that the Sister Covenant has been, just trying to empower women.
Mhm.
We're at a place where the rhetoric is negative, it's divisive. It's so easy to send a text message and not talk. It's so easy to tweet. And we
That's
know our leaders, some of them do that,
right.
and just fire off something.
Mhm.
It's so easy to draw the line in the sand
Yes.
and go to our corners. But what you are sharing, what you are giving is priceless, but yet it doesn't cost anything but your heart. And what I've heard you say so many times, hard work is hard work. It's
Right.
really harder sometimes.
Right.
Talk to us about that. Talk to us about how we can move this agenda
Mhm.
around the world in the business
Mhm.
space, in our in our personal lives. Talk to us about how we do that so we can be better.
Yes, and thank you for highlighting heart's work. So when people see me on social media, a lot of times you'll see hashtag heart's work, because I want to remind people that, a lot of times folks will say, oh, these are the soft skills, emotional intelligence and all of that. That's soft skills. No, it's really hard, in some instances, especially when people are getting on your last nerve, to be kind. You have to have a lot of intentionality to be kind. You have to be wise to be kind a lot of times, because again, we may not get it back in return, right? I may smile and people may frown, right? And so what I really wanted to do with this Sister Accord movement and the work that I do with dream walking and executive coaching is, how do we pause? I call it the power of the pause. How do we pause long enough to really reflect on how we are living our lives? How are we showing up? What are we doing? What are our actions? What is our language? And then be able to take inventory and determine if we do indeed want to change the outcomes if we want to change what we are currently dealing with, what are we willing to do? What are those steps? What are those specific steps that we are willing to do to drive the outcomes that we desire in our lives? And that is the journey of heart work. And so I talk a lot about self-love. I remember a time, I remember growing up, I probably weighed about 90 pounds soaking wet, right? So very, very thin. And people did not mind telling me that I was thin. Like I didn't know. And it would incense me. It would make me so mad to the point that I really had a complex. So I really wore a lot of clothes that were bigger. I have to catch myself even to this day because I will buy things that size up or two because I don't want them, to really fit. And so I had to really work on that because of the things that were said to me along the way. Now, when I talk about self-love, we have to get to a place where we love all of the aspects of our being, right? And so I prayed for weight, and now I'm asking God, I said, now, Jesus, you didn't have to give me everything that I asked for. You can take some of this back. But the fact of the matter was, I wasn't comfortable in my skin. So my journey of self-love, and like I said, we have to even remind ourselves, even as we become adults, is what are all the things that are naturally who I am, that make me who I am, and how do I embrace them? Then how do I purge what can no longer go with me to my next level of excellence? Ooh, that's some deep heart work. And it's hard. And so after I got to the place of really recognizing my insecurities around my size, I started to focus on the fact that I hated my lips. Oh my gosh. I always tried to make them look smaller. Again, people making comments about them when I was growing up. And now people say, "Oh, Sonia, people buy lips." Your lips are great. Why do you not like? But that is what all of that baggage and all of that stuff that we carry that prevents us from truly loving the skin that we're in. So I had to push past all of that. And all of that is heart work. And so it then gave me the ability to have confidence and self-esteem. Truly loving myself helped me to then see other women as an extension of myself, and it helped to drive healthy interactions and relationships. And so this heart work journey that I talk about is so important for us to make sure that we do the work that we need to do to show up the way that we desire to. What do people say when you're not in the room? What's your character? What's your reputation? Do you want to change that? And so for me, what I wanted to change was forgiveness. I used to be one of those people, because I'm so incredibly loyal to my friends. If you did anything that crossed that boundary, then I would just write you off. Unforgiving. And I remember doing my prayer and meditation time. God said, "You're not that important that people aren't going to do things. Get over it. That's ego. Get rid of it. You have to learn how to forgive." And so learning how to forgive and moving on was a big part of my preparation for what I'm doing today. But I had to do the work. I could not bypass this. I had to go through some pain. I had to go through some situations that would force me to forgive so that I could move to my next level of excellence. And so, again, that's all part of the heart work. And learning how to forgive, um, learning to not be so caught up in being a perfectionist. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. And when things go awry, there's no need to have a meltdown. Just keep it moving, right? But all of these things are part of that journey and process. And I'm just so thankful. I sit in so much gratitude that I actually listened and started doing this work. And a lot of it came from self affirmations, the art of self affirmations. I teach it as part of the work that I do, speaking life into myself every single day has been a big part of the heart work journey that I'm on. And I think we're on this journey until we transition, and pass away from this earth. And so it's an ever evolving, always, changing and evolving and growing process. It for me, I don't believe it ever stops until we stop breathing.
So I just recently, during Thanksgiving, read a quote that said, gratitude isn't giving thanks when everything is good. Gratitude is accepting the things that you can't change, the
Mm,
things that may not be how you want them,
that's
and
right.
being thankful for what you have.
Yes.
And when I think about all that you've just shared with us, and going back to kindness, when we think about random acts,
Mhm.
what I heard you say, you got to start with yourself
That's
first,
right.
right? You got to be kind and you have to love yourself
That's right.
before you can extend that. And
That's
sometimes we confuse love with material things.
right.
Again, Christmas is the worst, right? Because if I can buy you that flat screen TV, put a bow on a new car, or a new ring or a necklace, whatever it is, then I must love you. But if
Yeah,
I haven't shown myself any love,
yeah,
and if I haven't given true gratitude for the things I have or don't,
yes,
how am I going to have the love and kindness in my heart to give
yes,
to others? So, in this season, this Advent season of giving,
yes,
how can we be better? How can we truly come together and give from the heart, and
mhm.
that those random acts? Help us. What does
Yeah,
that look like?
yes. I really, the way that I try to perform my random acts of kindness is really being intentional about getting to know people well enough that I can do something for them that's meaningful, like that's really thoughtful. And doing that, we have to engage with each other. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what you really cared about. I wouldn't know what's important to you. And so I love that element of just getting to know people, setting aside, removing the mask. We all, have the mask that we've been wearing for all these years. It's like time to get rid of that mask and have really genuine interactions and relationships with people where you can literally just be, right? And vulnerability is a huge part of that growth. Now, I will say everyone cannot have that aspect of of you, right? And so being mindful of who you can share with, who you cannot share with, is very important. It's all a part of this. And I say it all the time. in the Sister Court family. We're not pushovers because we are talking about being kind and loving. As a matter of fact, we pay attention to red flags so that if you're not our people, then we know to keep it moving. So this is all a part of health and wellness and boundaries and making sure that you are doing the things that are going to be good for you. That's what this is about. So everyone, you can't have that deep relationship where you can be vulnerable and open with everyone. You just can't. But when you find some really great sister friends who you can really be you, all of you, and you can bring all of you to that relationship, it's such a beautiful thing. I was having a conversation with a sister today, and we were talking about how when we leave our conversations, we're on such a high because we are feeding into each other and loving on each other. Find those kinds of relationships. They're priceless. And and protect yourself from the ones that aren't. Sometimes it can be family members who you can have really great, wonderful conversations with and love on each other. And then in some instances, there may be family members where you may have had to put some distance, right? We do it with love, we do it with grace, but we must make sure that we are doing what we need to do for ourselves. Then you can begin to do really awesome things for people in the spirit of kindness. And so I love sending cards. I love handwriting cards. I have a beautiful one here that I'm going to send. But I just love, and see, it has the butterflies, which I love, and butterflies remind me of my mom. But I buy these cards because I just love beautiful cards.
That is
And
simply beautiful.
and
Beautiful.
and what I do is I just write messages of inspiration. Hey, I'm just thinking about you. I want to send you some love. I love giving gifts, so I'll just buy things and think of people's favorite colors. Think if they like butterflies, or they may have something else that they love, I'll make sure that I buy those things. um and so understanding people's love languages, you hear that a lot. But really, for me, it's all about what's important to my friends and family. What's important? What do they love? What do they care about? And then when I focus on strangers, it happens to be in a setting. Sometimes I will observe what's going on. I've had situations where the person in front of me, their credit card isn't working. There was a student. We were at a Michael's, and he was trying to buy his supplies for school, and that card was not working. And I said, I am going to pay for your supplies. And he said, huh? I said, I'm going to pay for it. I said, ma'am, put his bill on mine. So sometimes it's situational. And he could not believe it. He's like, I can't believe that you would do that for me. I, that's what random acts of kindness are, right? It's random. And so I wanted him to be able to get his supplies and focus on his schooling, because education saves lives and changes lives. So sometimes it's just situational. And so you have to be paying attention to what's going on around you to be able to say, oh, okay, he's having some trouble here. And so, whether it's a family member who's in need, a lot of times, we'll be more apt to help other people, rather than people who we know. So take a pause, and just think about, who could use some love. And again, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. It can be a phone call. It sometimes it's just a hello, right? And so I want people to expand their minds in terms of what kindness looks like, and what it feels like, because when we do that, That's how we can change the dynamic of what's happening in our families, in our communities, and in our country right now, which is filled with a lot of hate and violence right now.
So, Tanya, what do you have planned for the holidays, for your Christmas? I know you're a caregiver. Of course, you're a
Yes.
mom of adult children. So, what does that look like for you? How are you going to take some downtime to love on you?
Oh, I am resting. So I love spa appointments. If you want to bless me, you send me to a spa to get a massage. Oh my gosh, I am going to probably have, 2 or 3 massages this month of December. I'm going to get it in. Um, I make sure that I rest. I used to say really bad things, and I'm going to call them bad because I used to say things like, oh, I'll rest when I die. Friends, that is not good. We must get rest. So I am making sure that I am going to bed at night. This is significant for me because people who know me well know that I'm a night owl. And so I have to literally shut it down and say, nope, I have to go to sleep so that I can get at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep. So I am doing things that I historically did not do. And let me tell you, your body will tell you that the way that you might be running is not sustainable. So, making sure that I do my self affirmations, my prayer and meditation every morning is critically important. Um, I do a lot of radical self care, and it has made such a huge difference in my life. I could just tell with my body, and getting to know my body, and knowing when something's not right. I can tell now because I'm in tune with it, because I've done the work to become in tune with it. And so this holiday, I am resting. I am planning to do a lot of rest, spend time with family, eat some good food, but I'm trying to reduce my sugar intake, my sodium intake. I've done made significant changes in what I eat. Yeah, and it's been huge. It's been a huge, huge life change for me by making sure that I am participating, as I call it, in this radical self-care.
Well, my dear friend, I thank you. You're beautiful inside and
So,
outside. And if we had more of you in our daily lives,
mm,
then we would be better, not just to ourselves, but to one another.
uh,
So the love that you emanate, and of course, the hard work that
mhm,
you do with women
mm,
and girls all
mhm.
around the world is
Yes.
making an impact. And
Thank
if we can just take that, embody that in our
mm,
small ways, as we
yes.
talked about here, just random, whatever
Yes.
it looks like. And like you said, it doesn't have to be extravagant.
Mm-mm.
You're blessing others, but when you bless others and you open up your hand, what happens?
Mm,
You're opening up your heart and your hand to
mm.
receive. You don't
That's
do it for that reason, but it's just the cycle of life. It is gonna happen. So if we can just do our little part,
yes.
random or intentional, but do
Yes.
our part to bless and be a blessing, then that is all that is required. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the work that you continue to do. And thank
Thank
you for coming on and sharing with us in this way at this season of the year. I love you madly.
Love you so much. And thank you for what you do. When I think about all of the wonderful things that you are doing to serve girls and women and the Legacy League and what you do with Sister Covenant, you could just go somewhere and sit down but you have not chosen to do that. In so many instances, we could go off and do things for ourselves and never serve. But that is not our story. That is not our walk. That is not tied to our destiny and our purpose. And so I'm so honored to be able to link arms and hearts with a person like you. I am so thankful to my Sands, my soror, Anita, who said, "You need to know, I have someone that you need to know." And I'm so very thankful for her connecting us, because I just love you dearly. And I'm just so honored to work with you.
Well, Sonia, we role model, and people see. And what did Maya Angelou say? They 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 will never forget how you made them feel.
That's
So
right.
you can say the words, you
That's right.
can you can act a certain way. People see you, but they never forget how you make them feel. So I pray that we continue on this
Yes,
journey together. And I am so happy to call you my dear sister friend and
absolutely.
be at this same alignment with
That's
you. It
right.
is a God thing. And I
It
thank you.
is. It
I thank
is. Thank you
I
so much. Love you.
love you. Enjoy your family and Merry Christmas.
And same to you, sister.
Just a beautiful, beautiful soul, as I said, inside and out. We want to challenge you at this time of the year. 25-day challenge, random acts of kindness. As Sonia just shared with us, it doesn't have to cost a lot. It can be a card that you send to your fourth grade teacher that you've not talked to in 40 years. It can be paying for gas or that $5 cup of Starbucks, paying for the person behind you or in front of you. It can be taking the grocery to the car of the person that is walking out into the parking lot, or perhaps it's an older person or someone that doesn't have the ability to carry their grocery. Random acts of kindness. We challenge you to post a picture, make a new friend, and for 25 days through the end of December, hashtag random acts of kindness and post it here at the Sister Covenant and tag us. We want to see how many lives can be touched and transformed by just being kind. Hard work doesn't have to be hard work, it just has to be intentional. As always, my sisters, we want you to be safe. We want you to be healthy. We want you to live your best lives. Be bold, be brave. You are all so, so beautiful. Be blessed, my sisters, and have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas, and we will see you in the new year. Be blessed.